We're talking about.
There we go. No old information. Don't want any outdated information.
Exactly. Alrighty.
So from what I understand, you guys were trying to turn the water on and off over here, and then keep the temperature on over here, and then be able to control which way the shower water goes from over here.
Be able to control the rain head,
Yeah.
or the shower,
Okay.
or both.
Or both of them. Okay. So this one right now, this one is on and off and hot and cold. Is the Delta, the same valve fits Brizo, which is another line of Delta. Just a different trim that would go on this. If you wanted to do that, then
We're going to do what?
be able to adjust or just turn on and off over here.
Yep.
So you'd want to move this valve, the same valve, but a different trim than what's ordered for it. That valve would come over here, and then this diverter, you'd want to, well, you'd probably go away. You probably wouldn't even use this particular valve because this one doesn't turn anything on and off.
So we want the turn on and off to be there.
Yep. So then I could draw you something in a second. Then you want to put this over here, put two volume controls over here. So the water, this hot and cold, gets routed over here, goes through your mixing valve, your thermostatic valve. The thermostatic valve does not turn on and off. All it does is temperature, so it's always on. Then the outlet of that comes back over here, and you'd have two valves that are volume controls that do on and off. You know, you can part way, whatever, full volume, and then it would reroute from here back over to these fixtures. So that's the correct way to do that. Or if you want to change up the whole system, I'm just talking out loud, just toss some ideas. Do like a Moen or a Kohler digital shower valve. Might be big enough to fit in here. It's nothing exposed. You never see it. And you just want an access panel for it. So if you keep the valve, say, in this wall, put an access panel on the other side so you can get in and work on it if you need to someday. And then there's a little, I'm going to show you, I can show you a picture of one that I've got. Let's see here.
So can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
While you do that? So if the water starts here,
Yeah,
and we're going to just have on and off,
yeah.
and it goes over to there, once it's over there, why can't it stay over there? And just
Like
go.
the hot and cold.
Yeah. So once that hot and cold goes across, and it goes through some kind of a mixing valve, temperature control, and then above that's a diverter that goes to work either the shower head or the
Yeah,
fixture.
so we could stay over there, but then they wouldn't have the option to turn it on and off over here. So like if they move like the thermostatic valve, like by Brizo, then the water's always flowing through it.
Okay.
And then,
And this is still on and off.
well, if you kept that valve,
No, not that valve.
Yeah.
Just on and off here.
yeah, so that would be two valves over here.
Right. So
Because
two
you're trying to
valves.
control two independent shower heads. So one would be on for the rain head, and the other one would be on for the slide bar, or in this case the other.
So we would like
shower
to.
head.
You
We-
lost me
Yeah,
on
okay.
that.
That's
So we
not-
would like to turn on. If it has to be two valves,
Yeah.
whatever, we want to just all the way both valves, so we know the plumbing is on full.
Yeah.
And then when we go over there, we can put the
Yeah.
temperature whatever we want,
Yeah.
and do one,
So-
two, or both
Yeah.
there.
Exactly. So that would be controlled over here, though. So
What
unless you were to, well, okay. So that would be possible then if you put one volume control here, and then send it back over here. Keep this diverter, and let that volume control
Right.
control this diverter. This diverter would pick which way it's going. Wouldn't turn anything on or off.
Okay.
It just selects
Right.
where direction.
And where's the temperature at?
Temperature would be over here, on the thermostatic valve.
That's what we want to do.
One volume control over here.
Can
So you
Isn't
still
that-
need.
can we do this more in English so I understand? You can turn
Yeah.
on and off here, but it's going to turn on the whichever last one you had on.
Yeah, and when this turns on, it will already be mixed temperature.
So
Whatever you have selected.
volume control means flow. So like
Okay.
volume of liquid, that just has to do with flow.
Yeah.
So if you put one volume control over there,
Yes.
that hot and cold on one
Cold-
volume control.
Yeah, it's already mixed. Because this hot and cold here, like this is your hot water pipe.
Yeah.
That's your cold water pipe. It goes through the mixing valve is already one pipe going to the selected fixture. So it'd be something similar. This setup, we take both of this hot and cold and route it over here. So now you have hot and cold on this side. And you run it through a mixing valve that selects temperature, but nothing to do with on and off.
Okay.
So from here, your temperature is selected.
That's
So
what
we
I got.
said that yesterday,
Yeah.
Rick, is
Yeah.
2 in there, 2 out to that to mix.
Yeah. So this would be mixed here. So now you want to be able to turn it on over here because you don't want to get
It's-
cold water splash
it's one there.
before you get in.
It's one.
Yeah.
But it's
One
only
there.
one valve
So
there.
yeah, exactly.
One
so
there,
hot
right?
and cold come over.
Right.
You set your temperature.
And 2 here.
Yeah, 2 here. So your temperature's now set.
Right.
So now you want to bring it back over here. The mixed water, you have hot and cold already blended to the temperature you like, comes over to
I don't need to come back
volume
over
control. Well, so they want to turn it off over here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, wouldn't it be on and off to begin with? As
Well,
it feeds through
yeah,
and
exactly,
goes over?
exactly. But it's already flowing automatically through the mixing valve. So it's
Okay.
just the flow of water. This hot and cold's always going to be going into this valve,
Right.
always out of the valve because this valve doesn't turn off.
Right.
And so,
So
then
it's always coming through the head. At
always
that point.
coming. Well, that's why we'd have to route it over here first, so it doesn't always just flow through the head. We'd have to bring that mixed water one line out and bring it over here through a valve.
No, but
The
that's
same
what I'm saying.
valve?
So why can't it just go ahead and come out of there? And this is on and off. I'm turning it off on my way out anyway. I'm turning it on my way in.
Yeah. So let me
Right.
see if you have like a
So I
draw a
don't need
diagram
pump.
of the flow of water to make it simpler.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
draw it on
Does
that.
it really matter the flow of the water? Just whatever works. I mean,
Yeah.
does it
I don't
matter?
know.
Well, I'm
To
trying
know
to
what
think.
the flow of the
It
water
sounds
is?
like
Yeah,
extra-
it
just
does
sounds like a lot
matter.
of extra
Okay.
Because
pump.
one
There's a
one
lot
way it's gonna work,
Yeah,
and
there's
one way it's
functions
not gonna work how
Yeah.
you want it. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
So
it does.
So I can draw it on this if you want. I mean, I can draw on the seat kind of.
no, yeah.
No,
I
just
can
draw it
use
on
the
one of these
paper here,
papers.
But I guess just tell me why it's got to come back to this side. If I can turn it on and off over here before when it gets started,
Okay.
why has it got to come back over here?
Well, over here, this is already blended. It turns on here, right?
Right.
So this is already
Wanted it
blended,
going that way.
so they can't blend temperature over there. But you could do it
Well, I
that
thought
way.
you said you could because you had that temperature all the time.
Well, that's if you move hot and cold over there. For a
See, we
thermostat.
keep jumping back and forth.
Yeah.
We need to
So
stop
with one
jumping
plan-
between 2 different systems.
So
Let-
if
just
we
let
keep-
him,
if we
just
keep
let him
this
draw
valve
his
here-
diagram, because we're
Yeah.
going between 2 different things and it's confusing everyone.
Yeah.
So
let
just-
me,
just-
let me draw one
All right, go
diagram
ahead.
Just-
how it has to go. Like, there's not a lot of options to do what you want it
Right.
to do.
Just
There's only one way to do it without going digital and.
Okay.
Right.
so draw.
All right,
If
go
you
ahead.
could
Yeah.
draw that
Yeah,
what
ahead.
you're talking about,
So-
so we all know.
So for this one on here, put this wall up in here. So we're gonna take the hot and the cold both over to this side.
Okay.
Gonna go through a
That's individual.
2
Two
These
pipes.
are just water line, 2 individual pipes coming across.
Okay.
So
From something here, or just
yeah,
in
from
general, you're just having 2 pipes coming over to that.
yeah, 2 from your copper.
Okay.
We'll just reroute this because this is on the wrong side. So these 2 would get moved over to there because you want to do temperature adjusting
Okay.
there. So that means you have to have hot and cold going into a
Gotcha.
valve and for you to fix it. So that's that valve. The terminology for that is thermostatic because it doesn't do. It's not a volume control / thermostatic. It's thermostatic. So water flows through this valve without any other valve. There's no shutting off your shower heads. It'll just flow continue. So I've had some contractors years ago design that without realizing it. And there's like no way to turn it off until I was testing everything out. I'm like, oh, you guys are mixing something. So you have to have some way to turn this water off now. But you want to do that here. So hot and cold. Let's draw like 2 lines over for that. Goes through a thermostatic mixing valve.
Mm-hmm.
You can't select where it's going yet because if you plumb this valve into that diverter, that doesn't turn on and off. So that's just left to right where it's going.
Okay.
So right now, one of them's constantly flowing. You just pick which one's always running. So that's why you need to bring back a 3rd line, mixed, warm water, whatever you want to shower in. So that comes back to that point where you want to turn it on, and that's just in and out. There's no mixing. There's nothing over here. It just stops the water from passing through.
Okay.
So that valve is called a volume control. So just put like a VC for volume control. So now you've got water here blended at the temperature you can do over here. So it's going to travel overhead. So when you first walk in the shower, all you do is turn that on. Everything else is already automatically functioning. All the water's flowing from this side.
Okay.
So now it's going to come out. You still need to feed this. So that line is going to come back.
Well, because the supply of water originates there.
Yeah.
It's coming in there to start.
Come
It's
from there
not
to
coming
start.
in there
Yeah,
anymore.
will no longer come.
Yeah,
That is only a shut-off valve
Yeah.
you're using the third line for
Yeah.
after the fact.
After the fact of
Okay.
that, yeah. Now the fifth line, so you can have 5 pipes overhead. It's not a big deal. It should all work fine. You might wait extra 5 seconds to get hot water because now you're traveling through an extra 20 feet of pipe, but it's not a really big deal. So this one would come back and go through this valve, which is the diverter. And it goes out, to what shower head it's going to go to.
Or both.
Or both at the
So,
same time.
so
yeah.
you still don't have individual temperature control with this configuration. That's
Yeah,
correct.
you do from over here at the thermostatic valve.
No,
So
like
you won't be able to with this configuration make this 110 degrees and this one
Right.
105
Those are the
degrees.
same. That doesn't matter.
That's going to be the same.
One temperature out
Okay,
of both
'cause-
of them at the same time. Is
Yeah.
perfect.
because that earlier today that was like one of the
Oh, it is
issues.
what it is, yeah.
Okay.
So you can do it that way. But then I think
You talking about having like that one colder than that one?
I'm not.
I was never thinking of that. I misspoke if that was the case. Because I was just saying both of them on the same time, same temperature. Whatever the temperature is coming out,
yeah.
we're happy.
Are they able to both be on? Because that
Yeah, well,
with
so
that diverter is going to divert to one or the other, isn't it?
picks both. It's a 3 function, so it's one or both.
Okay.
So there's 3 functionalities to it.
Okay.
So
All right. So you're bringing just hot and cold
yeah.
over here
Supply
into a
over here.
thermostatic. That line that's mixed goes to volume control over there, and from volume control over there, it comes back to divert over here.
To divert, pick which way it goes.
And so that's a total of 2 valves here
Yep.
and 1 valve
And one
over there.
Yeah.
And that's as good as we got, right? For what they
Yeah.
want to get.
Yeah, that's the simplest. If you wanted to control temperature separately, then you need 2 thermostats. We
No,
can
that's
get all
not-
kinds
Okay.
of
no,
custom
let's
crazy.
not go there.
No.
Okay.
Let's not go
Don't
there.
even talk about it.
All right.
Nope.
So
Yeah.
I think we're all on the same page now.
So
Yeah.
the trim that's bought for this would be needing to get changed out.
What does that mean?
So
So I
like,
gotta go throw
yeah, because this valve is a universal valve made by Delta. If it's Delta or Brizo, I don't know, it's just an upper line end of Delta, getting into more custom. So this valve will fit a thermostatic cartridge. So you could reuse this valve, just move the same existing valve over here.
Okay.
But the trim that's fitting this now is on and off and thermostatic. So you kind of have 2 on and offs. I don't know that it's designed to always be on. So because it's not if you put this over here and then you shut the handle off by accident, this handle becomes useless. You turn it on and off, nothing happens because somebody accidentally turned it off over here. So you don't want problems like that occurring. So it's better off to do the right trim. So it's always running through the thermostatic, always blended. You turn it on, it's memory because you didn't touch the handle last time. Boom, out comes
Right.
the water you already like. So
Right.
would be the best. So now a simple solution if you wanted to, I don't know how much you adjust the temperature. If you did a 17 series trim for this, there's a knob that adjusts hot and cold and a bigger knob that turns the water on and off. So you would just turn it on. The little knob's like a memory knob. It never changes. So if you're always in the same shower every day, you could just turn it on once. It's already remembered where your hot setting was, and then it'll warm up, and then you would just shower. But there's no adjustment over here
Over there.
for hot. Yeah.
Want the adjustment over there.
Not
Yeah.
just over here.
So if not adjustment over there, then
Yeah.
we need to do this plan here.
And you know what you need to get for this?
Oh yeah. Well, for all the rough ends, yeah, I know what we need for all that. But the trim, I can't say you like what color or square
Yeah, so-
trim, round trim. There's probably
Have you got?
So you gotta switch to Brizo for your finished trim.
yeah.
Oh, this has to be Brizo. What we just?
I think for the thermostatic for sure, and the volume controls, Delta might. I think that Delta does make a volume control. I'll call them.
So what we have right now will not work.
No. This one, yeah. This is the only trim that you do have that will work. Is this one here? So you need to
So
buy
we just need to buy one thing that's
buy
going to
one more
work. there.
valve, and then the trim to match that volume control. Keep this valve, but buy the trim that's thermostatic. So that won't let you shut it off.
And
And I can visit with. Did you order at Central or
We
who's
talked
the
to somebody
supplier?
named Jason over there at Central.
Okay,
I've never dealt with him before.
I'm going to Central in Phoenix. Did you go? Which branch did you go?
We
to
were in Scottsdale.
Okay, I can call them and find out who the salesperson was and
Jason.
It was
just let them know what we're trying to do now, and then let him verify. Because he knows the series of trim you picked out, so then there's a chance you don't even need to go shopping. He'll say, "Oh, well, Breeze or the crossover trim to get thermostatic is this one." And then,
But everything we have is going to work except one thing.
Yeah.
One thing.
Yeah.
And-
Okay.
Well,
Now to
and you have to
change-
buy one other valve. 'cause
Right.
You only have
Right.
two. Yeah,
Now,
exactly.
I'm talking about the
But everything
way
else should
the way
work.
it's
Oh
gonna
yeah,
look.
yeah. But everything else, your shower heads will, be the same. This handle will be the same
Okay.
if they can find a matching thermostatic.
But we're gonna add a handle.
Yeah, we're gonna add a handle, and
So-
then they'll just pull up that series to match. with
So
the
how do
one
we
you got.
want these to
Where's
look?
the added handle?
That's gonna come over here.
Okay.
That'll be the volume
And
control.
then
this
on
one.
that side?
And then this one, this valve moves over here.
Okay. So what was here is over there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So how do you want to how do you want these spaced over here?
'Cause
Side by
everybody-
side or up above each other? How do you want
Yeah,
this
'cause now
laid
you
out?
have two valves. You're gonna have the thermostatic and your diverter. So, but I don't know. Probably most common is up and down. It's more aesthetics than anything. If you want to put them, two round trims here. This trim is typically smaller, 4 inches, and that valve trim is typically 6 to 7
I'd rather go
round.
up and down.
So, if we just did temperature control, say at like 28 inches maybe.
So we do need. So there are going to be
I'm
3.
gonna change this much up in here.
2, 1.
Well,
So there's usually three
Go down a
valves.
So
little
actually,
lower.
we have to get 2 more because the one isn't going to work, and we need to add one.
He's putting that one
Right.
on this
Yeah,
side.
so it's, one's
Yeah.
moving over, that one's gonna go away.
yeah. Well, this one will stay with this plan here.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
So we
that
can
one
use
just
that
moved.
valve.
Yeah,
We can use that valve.
yeah,
And
So
so all
we
you
go back.
yeah. Don't have to do anything with that.
We need to add a valve.
You need to add a valve to 2
Volume
trim
control,
pieces, right?
and then take that trim back, and then replace it with a thermostatic trim.
Okay.
Yeah,
And then your lever to.
yeah. Bounce
Goes
the pipe
back
back and forth.
Right.
But we need 2 trim pieces, right?
3.
3 total.
Well, but we have
Yeah, because you
one.
already have this one. Already.
That one
Yeah,
works.
Right, and the
Yeah.
other one has to go back.
Yeah.
So
And
we
potentially
need 2.
3 if Central says, well, this won't match this,
Right.
so maybe 3. But if they can find a matching series to this, then you're all set.
So it's kind of like Ford and Lincoln.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
town
it's the same
car and the Crown
Yeah,
Vic
exactly.
is the
Right,
same frame.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
It's just 2 different.
So you're gonna
finishes.
find out shortly then?
Yeah, if you give me like the order number, then or whoever's got
That's in the book,
you
right?
know, that
Should be
to
in
me.
the book,
Okay, that's in
Right
there. Let me take a picture of it because then when I call Central, they'll ask for that number. And I can pull it up and then see what the options are. If they say, well, nothing matches, maybe you have to go in and pick out